All right, good afternoon, everybody, and welcome back to the C Show. This is Chris. I'm here with Dave, the insurance guy, Ledbetter, all the way from Las Vegas, Nevada. How are you, Dave?
I'm doing pretty well today. Thanks for having me on, Chris. I'm enjoying your new show.
Great, I'm glad to hear that, man. So, how long you lived out in Las Vegas?
By the way, I think you've asked me to subscribe to your channel about 100 times.
Well, sometimes you gotta ask, that 99th time before you get that yes.
True.
And once you get it.
Oh, it's a great day in Las Vegas. I think it's about 80 degrees today. And
oh, man.
just get ready to turn the air conditioners on. But Chris.
Does it get humid out there?
What? But Chris, it gets to be about 115 degrees here.
Yeah, what is the, because I've been in the desert in the Middle East. Is it dry out there, or is it humid at all?
Oh, it's dry. Dry as a bone.
Okay.
Dry as a bone.
Yeah,
you got to drink water all the time.
I remember somebody telling me when I was going over there, they said, well, yeah, it'll be 120 degrees, but it's just going to be a dry heat. And I said, what? 120 degrees, 120 degrees. I don't care if it's dry or wet.
Well, when I mow the yard, if I go in the house to get water or something, or a phone call, or check the C Show to see if Chris at the C Show has some new videos, if I run in the house and check that, by the time I get back to the mower, the handle's so hot you can't touch it.
Oh, yeah, I bet. Yeah. That's when does it usually peak? I mean, you'll have like a nice spring, June, July, or here in the South, we go straight from winter right into 100 degrees usually.
Oh, yeah, very nice springs and falls. But it gets really, really hot about July.
July?
Yeah, even August. Even some October days are 100. And at midnight, it can be 100 degrees as well. But this is a really nice community, Chris, because we have about 2,000 people per week moving here.
2,000 per week, really?
Yeah, 2,000 per week moving here. A lot of them escaping California. And I don't think I've met anybody that's moved here from your neck of the woods. So it must be nice in your area too.
Yeah, we're not experiencing any growth or a decrease in population here. That's surprising though. 2,000 people a week. I didn't realize it was growing that fast. That must be a reason why, because I couldn't figure out why. Y'all got the Raiders, and that makes a lot of sense now. If you've got that many people come from California, 2,000 a week, I mean, with it being, adding that to what was already a gambling and boxing city, is just going to add to it.
Yes, it's good. The economy's pretty good here.
And you grew up there, or lived there most of your life?
I've lived here for 40 years. I'm 62. I've lived here for 40 years.
So did you keep up with the boxing when it was going on there?
Oh, yeah. That's one nice thing about Las Vegas, Chris, is, well, let me back up just a step. When I first moved here, I worked at a men's shoe store. And the first day at work, when they hired me, the store manager told me that a lot of celebrities come into the store. And I asked him about boxers because I was really into boxing then, back then.
Yeah.
Still love it, but I was really into it back then. And he told me that he sold shoes for the poster. If you remember the Larry Holmes Muhammad Ali fight, October 1980.
Oh yeah, the one that they really. He should have never been allowed to fight that fight. But yeah, I know the one you're talking about.
Mm-hmm. Well, if you remember one of the promos, one of the posters, there's a picture of Ali and Holmes and wearing tuxedos. Well, they came into the shoe store and bought tuxedo shoes. Well, I didn't believe the manager because, you know, he would kind of embellish things quite often. But sure enough, the first boxer that came in when I was working there is a fellow by the name of Mark Breedland. Chris, one nice thing about living in Las Vegas, the boxing capital of the world, well, the locals were invited to go down and watch them spar and train for their championship fights.
No, really?
Oh, yeah. In fact, the first one I ever went to was Larry Holmes training for the David Bay fight. David Bay, B-E-Y. Do you remember him?
Yes, I remember him too.
Yeah, and that was a title fight for Larry. He was defending his title.
And you went down and watched that?
Yeah, right. You get right down the ringside. You can get right down there.
Oh my God.
And I remember one particular time, Archie Moore was there. And this was when Archie Moore was an advisor for Larry Holmes.
Oh my God, I could imagine that.
Yeah, I'm 5 feet from him.
Oh.
Yeah, then Sugar Ray Leonard. I was down ringside training with Sugar Ray Leonard when he's preparing for the Donnie Lalonde fight.
I don't remember that one.
Yeah, these are. I think we're in the late '80s now.
Yeah, that's my. I mean, the '80s to the '90s is my favorite era of boxing by far. So.
Okay. Well, it turns out that my doctor was Dr. Robert Boy, V-O-Y. He was a ringside physician. And my doctor retired, and my health insurance referred me to Dr. Boy, and it didn't really ring a bell with me until I got to his office, and I recognized him from being on TV. And he was my doctor for 30 years, and he recently retired. So I'm looking for another doctor. But I remember being in the waiting room, and Richard Steele would walk in and sit down. Richard Steele was a patient too.
Yeah. And the same doctor.
Yeah, and Johnny Taco, the cut man.
Johnny Taco too?
Yeah, the cut man. And Johnny Taco had a place, well, until he died, it's still in existence. Down here on Main Street is the Ringside Gym. And a lot of fighters would go in there and train when they wanted privacy, because it was just a little bitty hole in the wall.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
I mean, to have that kind of access to them, I would be awestruck. I mean, I would never be able to go to work.
And I remember going to another fight by Michael Spinks, and a guy named Stefan Tangstad was European heavyweight champ.
I remember Spinks.
Okay, this is 1986. But what was interesting about being at that fight, Mike Tyson was on the undercard, because this is in '86 when Tyson was just coming up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
He was on the undercard then?
Yeah, Mike Tyson was. Up and comer. But that's really nice about living in Las Vegas is the easy access to go down and see them. You know, if you're into boxing, you can't beat it. You can't beat it.
Oh, I love. I mean, you know, I don't keep up with it now, but I mean, just to think about living there in the '80s and '90s. Maybe, I don't know, that just seems like the golden era to me with the names you had at that time. You just don't seem like you have it today. It just doesn't have the same feel.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe it's because the personalities it doesn't seem the same either. Is what it was then. But I've watched some of these guys. I don't think these guys today would stand a chance with somebody like Tyson.
Probably not. If it's okay, I want to plug my YouTube channel just for a second.
Absolutely.
Okay, it's called Dave the Insurance Guy. On there, on my YouTube channel, I take you from Sonny Liston's house. Sonny Liston, heavyweight champion, 1963 or 64, when Muhammad Ali took it from him. Anyway, Sonny Liston died in the house I show you in 1970. Then I take you over to his gravesite here in Las Vegas, and I film his grave location, which is by the airport here in Las Vegas.
I forgot he died so early in life. I'm sorry to cut you off.
39 years old.
What? I forgot all about that. I forgot that he died so young. I'm sorry. So you have a video that goes from his house to his gravesite?
Yeah, I found his house, which is actually by the Boulevard Mall where I worked. Another guy who is really into boxing gave me the address, and then I walked around the cemetery until I was blue in the face, because you just feel goofy going in asking the cemetery. I do anyway. I just feel goofy. Yeah, unless they're a family or a relative, I just feel goofy. But I was lucky and I found it, so I put a video together with it.
I'll have to check that out when I go back on the channel. Now, by the way, that is a great channel. I love your videos on there.
Have you subscribed?
Oh, yeah. I just had never hit the bell before. That's why I could never understand. I was like, why am I not getting notifications for this? And when you said that the other night, I went in there and hit the bell, so now they come up all the time. So that's why I was never getting any for it.
Yeah.
But, I mean, that's a wonderful channel, so I'm definitely going to have to check that out. So did you go to any of the matches? Or?
Yeah, I was at the Spinks Tangstad fight. I was at Sugar Ray Leonard, Donnie Lalonde. By the way, Donnie Lalonde, he dyes his hair. He dyes his hair blonde. So what guy's going to go to a fight and root for somebody who dyes his hair? And he laid in well, I don't know if this would be fact, but a guy I went to the fight with said that he goes to a tanning parlor. Anyway, I guess that's more acceptable today, but back in the later 80s, it was kind of goofy. But so I went to Larry Holmes fights, a bunch of those. I was at the Holmes Spinks too. By the way, Larry Holmes won that second fight with Spinks. Now, I believe Spinks beat him the first time, if you watch the fight, but the second fight, Larry won that fight.
I'm going to go back and rewatch them now, because I don't remember them off the top of my head. I'm going to have to YouTube that tonight and watch them. So Larry won the second one, no doubt.
Oh, yeah, I believe so. And if you ask me who my favorite fighter is,
that was the next question.
Well, it's Larry Holmes.
Holmes? Why Holmes?
Larry Holmes, my favorite fighter.
Why so? What is it?
What
makes him your favorite?
I like jabs. I like a really good jab.
Okay.
And he's a true boxer. He's not going to knock you out with one punch. He's smart. He knew how to, he just knew how to fight. And as far as my favorite fight, I'll go from him and Kenny Norton to Ernie Shaver. So I kind of go between. I don't really have a favorite one, I guess.
The Sugar Ray Hearns fight. Do you remember that one?
Sure do.
Who do you think won that one?
Sugar Ray. Oh, you mean the second or the third?
The third, when they had to help Sugar Ray.
So third. Hearns won that.
I know.
Hearns won.
So I should have been more.
Yeah.
Should have been more.
That was out here in Las Vegas too. That was out here.
I couldn't believe it when that happened. I was like, oh, how did they come up with that on the course?
Yeah.
I mean, I think it was, I forgot which round, 11th or 12th round, that just almost carried Sugar Ray to the corner.
Oh, I know.
Was you still living there when my favorite was fighting, Foreman?
Oh, well, not the first George Foreman, but the second.
Okay.
In fact, when he came out of retirement, it was 1987, and he would come out here, and you can. I didn't go watch him spar, but I went to a lot of his fights, and you can get in for $10 then, because he was just coming back. And
yeah, he didn't have many big.
And people in the crowd would make fun of him. You know, it would kind of anger me, but they would kind of make fun of him. But that soon stopped. That soon stopped.
I was thinking the same. They didn't laugh at him too long. I remember this got a comment on one of these YouTube channels that said, young Foreman destroyed most people. And I said, old Foreman destroyed most people.
You doggone right, boy. And I wasn't at the Foreman. Who's the white guy? Cooney.
Jerry Spinks. Jerry
Cooney.
Spinks. Yeah, Jerry Cooney. The second round knockout, I believe.
No, a little longer than that, but Foreman nailed him with an uppercut, left uppercut.
I watched that live. I remember when that fight. I watched that one on TV.
And you remember Cooney landing on his head and shoulder, and I knew right then, lights out.
When he hit you, it was like being hit by a telephone pole.
I know, and Cooney can knock the daylights out of you too.
Cooney was a strong puncher. I heard Lewis say the strongest puncher he ever took was from Tommy Morrison.
Who said that?
Lennox Lewis.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, he said that was the hardest hitter he ever faced was Morrison. I mean, really surprised him, the boxers Lennox faced over the years.
Yeah, that left hook.
Yeah, Tommy was, if he had let, drugs and that lifestyle take him down, there's no telling how far he would have went.
One time, Ernie Shavers over at the YMCA, he ran an ad in the paper. This is before the internet, pre-internet. He ran an ad in the paper, come and listen to Ernie Shavers speak and watch old fight footage. Well, me and a buddy, we went right over there, and it kind of break your heart. There wasn't about 15 people there. And this is around 90, this must have been about 95.
Okay.
Yeah, it kind of break your heart.
95, that was still, oh man, that would have, yeah. I would have still loved to go though.
Yeah. It was a nice time.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, that was that was just the golden era, maybe just because the personality was there then, but that was just my favorite time of boxing.
Yeah.
I haven't even watched a match now, and I can't tell you when. Is the atmosphere out there still the same for boxing as it was back in those days, or
well,
can you tell if it's changed? Or?
Well, it's changed. I remember going when you'd wear a suit and smoke a cigar, and now it's just like when you travel on an airplane, it's all real casual now, shorts and tennis shoes and.
But there's still the same excitement and
I don't think so. I don't think so.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think
you think it's because of the fighters, or people just aren't interested in other things?
Probably the fighters. It starts at the top. You got to have, you got to have a draw. Hey, can I ask you a question?
Yes, go ahead.
I know this is your show, but can I ask you a question?
Absolutely, yes.
What's your opinion of King?
Who now?
King, boxing promoter, King.
Oh,
Don King.
Don?
Yeah.
Oh, Don King. It was, to me. It was hard not to like him. I know he had a way about him, but he was okay to me. I said he's all right. I don't have anything bad to say about him. He was flashy. He was funny, and he was out to make that money.
Well, you know what Larry Holmes says about him?
No.
Larry Holmes says the reason why he grows his hair that way straight up is to hide his horns.
I take it he's not a fan.
Yeah.
He's there's just how much money that man has made. I would
Hobo load.
I would hazard to guess how much he got off. I forgot how much. Oh God, I was reading the money how much he got just off that home. I think it was Holmes always fight.
Tyson's got a really nice custom home out south of town by Wayne Newton's place. You know Wayne Newton, the singer?
Well,
Wayne,
yeah.
Yeah, so Tyson still has a couple of dollars left.
Yeah, I was wondering. I mean, I know we could always come back and make it because what they estimate he went through like $300 million or something like that.
Oh yeah, I think so.
I wonder how much he got off that last little gig he did. Did you watch that?
Yeah, it was more of an exhibition thing, I think.
Yeah, I didn't pay any attention to it.
You know, Chris, I wanted to say this too. Before YouTube,
mm-hmm.
I was subscribing to HBO, and do you remember Super Bouts with Al Bernstein?
Oh, absolutely, yes. Yes.
I think I got 100 VHS tapes with old boxing matches, but it's not worth much now. It's not worth much now because you can go right on YouTube and watch whatever fight you want.
Oh yeah, yeah. And you can go to whatever, round 7 through 9, you can go find the best part of it, you don't have to.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I mean, YouTube's amazing for that. I mean,
okay, I got another story. I got another true story I just thought of.
Okay.
Out here in Las Vegas, Bonanza, there's a street called Bonanza. Bonanza Street runs from east to west. And I remember heading to work, turning left on Bonanza, and Mike Tyson with about 4 other guys were doing their early morning run. It was about 5:30 a.m. And he was running Bonanza heading west. And that was about 2 blocks from my old neighborhood.
Mike Tyson out on a run at 5:30 in the morning.
Yeah. Yeah, that's back when I think he had won the title, so this is after 92. Might have been 93 or 94.
When did he go to... He went to prison in...
90... Was it 94 or 5? Do you think that... I know, again, Chris, I know it's your show, but can I ask you another question?
Yeah, go ahead. Sure thing.
Okay, do you think he committed rape in Indianapolis?
No, I do not.
No? How come?
No. She went to his room at 3 a.m. I've never went to somebody's room at 3 a.m. or known anybody else go to somebody's room at 3 a.m. and not expecting what was going to take place. So,
well, and
no, I don't.
I understand she even went to the restroom and cleaned herself up. too.
Yeah, and I wasn't aware of that fact, but no, I don't think Tyson raped her at all.
Yeah, she went in freshened up. If you know what I mean.
Oh yeah. I understand what you mean. But I didn't believe it then, and I still don't believe it. To this day. What about you?
Boys will be boys. If you wee hours. She wasn't there to play checkers.
Yeah, good point. I mean, or have a Bible study.
Yeah.
They got a.
This
will do out of it.
This will get you a bunch of thumbs down about now.
Well, I've had plenty of those before in my life, so
yeah.
I'm sure I'll have some more. But we'll get through it together and gain a little strength from it, and we'll be all right. That was I've seen the clip of that. That speech. So I think that was about 91 though. He actually went.
Was it 91?
I think he was in because I think he was from like 91 to 95 or 96. He was in prison. Because I know in like 96, I think in 96 he was fighting again. Because around 96 or 97 is when he had that first fight with Holyfield. Or second fight, first fight, second fight. My memory's fading now.
Yeah, well, you're right. I just Googled it. It was in 91.
Okay, yeah, because I was, getting to the age after date things. I know Foreman won the title in 94, and he ended up losing them, I think, all by 96, and I think it was 96 or 97, Tyson won one of them back.
Well, he must have went to prison, it says here, in 92. So,
okay.
What was this after he won the title fight?
Yeah, he was already he already held the title. He had lost the title by then because Douglas knocked him out in 1990.
Oh yeah, see now there's another guy that came in the shoe store, Buster Douglas.
Buster Douglas.
Yeah, that's another guy. And when I shook his hand, it was like shaking an average bear's hand, like just an average guy. You wouldn't know he was a big fighter. But I think this was off season when he ate a couple of pancakes.
Yeah, that's what I was fixing to say. Do you remember that fight between him and Holyfield when he went in there and had not trained at all?
Yeah. Holyfield knocked him out.
I couldn't even believe the fight went 3 rounds. I mean, I was like, God, how did he go from that to that?
Yeah.
I mean, somebody would have, put any kind of money on that fight. What was the odds? 45 to 1, or I forgot what the odds against him and Tyson were.
I think 70 to 1, and I was watching a basketball game. Matter of fact, it was on my birthday, February 11th.
The Tyson Douglas fight was?
Yeah, I'm reading here. I guess we're not boxing experts like we think we are, Chris, because I just read here that Tyson won the championship fight with 1986 from Burbick. I was thinking it was 92.
Oh no! He definitely had the title by 86. Somehow I thought it was in 85 when he had it.
But you want to know what's interesting? That I know, Chris, you'll pick up on this. It was November 22nd, 1986.
It's when he won the title?
Yeah.
Wow, 23rd anniversary.
Yep. Yeah. We'll let your listeners figure out what happened November to...
I'm sure... November 22nd, yeah. I'm sure maybe 1 or 2 might know.
Yeah, but getting back to when when Douglas took Tyson's title. That was February 11th.
Okay.
You see, and that's when there was a lot of talk about Tyson Holyfield fighting, and by Tyson going to prison in '92, that was a big payday going out the window for Holyfield.
Yeah, now it's all coming back. Yeah, now I remember that. Yeah. Was the I can't remember, was the Foreman Holyfield fight in Las Vegas?
Oh, I don't remember. I don't remember.
I can't remember if it was held there or not. Cause I was trying to think about the just the hoopla that was put on that, but I can't remember if it was held out there or not. Now, I don't think it was.
I just don't remember.
So, what do you have? One particular fight that was your all-time favorite that you watched?
Ask me that again. I'm sorry.
Was there one particular fight that you remember that was your favorite?
Well,
that you watched.
Well, yeah. This is when I was a teen. The most thrilling fight I watched, was Ali Foreman in Zaire.
Ali Foreman. Okay.
Yeah, when Ali danced off the ropes and knocked Foreman out in the 7th round.
I've watched it. Used to be on Sunday afternoons on the ABC Wild World Sports.
Exactly.
They used to replay that, and I watched. That's the first time I watched that was on that. And yeah, Ali was on the ropes the whole time. That was the most thrilling. That was what, in 73,
74.
4?
Yeah.
74. Okay.
That was my most thrilling.
Do you think he'll ever make a comeback again, or do you think it's heydays past?
Oh, he's done. He's pumping gas.
I mean, boxing as a whole, the sport. Do you think it's heydays past?
The sport.
Yeah.
I have little to no interest. It's kind of that ship sailed. That train's left the depot.
I'm the same way, man. And I never would have thought that, but I was such a fan back in the 80s and 90s that I just would. I don't even know who the heavyweight champ is now. I used to name every fighter that was out there.
I know.
And I cannot even tell you. I think the guy from here in Alabama is still the heavyweight champ, Dante, if I'm not mistaken. But I can't even tell you.
Yeah.
And I can tell you the names of the heavyweight, middleweight, lightweight, every one of them, and it's just don't have it anymore. But I still love to look it up, and never been the same.
Another cool thing about living here in Las Vegas is when you go down and watch those guys spar, the sparring partners would imitate who the champ's fighting.
Didn't Holmes spar for Ali?
Yes, definitely.
That's what I thought.
But like a guy would, like if he's fighting David Bay, they'd find real tall sparring partners, or Cooney, I should say. And if the guy, if he had a certain style, the sparring partner would imitate that individual and prepare the champ for the fight. So a lot of your champions, you got to credit sparring partners that trained them, that would just take a beating. I mean, they would just take a beating. Another thing I liked about Holmes is when the trainer would call time, like Richie Giacchetti. And by the way, Richie would come in the store too. I really liked Richie Giacchetti, Holmes' trainer.
Mm-hmm.
He'd call time at 3 minutes. He'd yell, time. And Holmes would say, no, let's keep going. And Holmes would go another 30 seconds to a minute. Now that's Studley. Man, that's Mr. Stud to a boxing fan. to a boxing fan. We love that stuff.
You know what? When you said that, that got me to thinking that I bet, I hate to be biased because he was my favorite, but that must have been really difficult for somebody to get ready to fight against Foreman because he didn't really have a style. It was kind of just sit there and, block punches and then land 2 or 3 and it was over.
Well, the most awkward fighter that I've seen is Michael Spinks.
He was awkward. He was very awkward, yes.
Because the head movement and unorthodox moves and head movement, he's hard to hit.
So how much does a fight, how much does ticket to a heavyweight fight out there go for now?
I don't know about now, but it cost me about $75 to go see him in the late 80s, early 70s.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'd have to look that up now, find out how much one I'm going for.
But the music they would play entering the ring would just give you goosebumps.
Before
like Larry Holmes.
I do love
Larry Holmes, that theme song he had. They'd play that as he's coming out of the dressing room.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, another thing Holmes would do that I really got into was he would make the challenger wait. Holmes would stay in his dressing.
Make him wait?
He'd make him wait on, like the challenger would be in the ring, and there'd be 10,000 people in the stands, and Holmes wouldn't come out of his training room. They'd have to go get him. Yeah, he'd psych the guy out. Holmes he'd wait forever, and then finally, boxing officials would go make him leave the training room.
I did not know that about him. That's
you got the challenger in there. Challenger scared to death, getting dry and cold. Bouncing around the ring, and you got people starting to lose their patience, yell for Larry, and then all of a sudden that music would start playing. I can't remember the song.
It kind of. I hate to go off. It's still boxing though, but
yeah.
Did you know that Sylvester Stallone's Rocky movie is based off a real person?
Yeah, wasn't it the guy that Ali fought, Joe Bugner or somebody like that?
Yes,
yeah.
It was based off him, and the whole story was based off of it. And Ali, he knocked Ali down in one of the rounds, and he went to his corner and said, "I knocked him down." His trainer said, "Yeah, but he's getting up and he looks pissed off."
Yeah.
And then the guy had a boxing match with Andre the Giant. And remember in Rocky III, Sylvester Stallone had a boxing match with Hulk Hogan.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
Yes.
And Tommy Gunn too. Tommy Gunn.
Tommy Gunn, and then I don't know if you. Tommy Morrison, and I don't know if you watched the last one, but to me that was the best one of all the movies.
The Rockies.
Yeah, the last one he made. Rocky Balboa. It was just all the other ones were so cheesy. The last one was actually pretty good. I mean, I enjoyed the last one. The other ones was just so cheesy, but and that guy he sued Stallone, and he didn't get that much money out of it.
I think I liked the second one the best. I think I did.
Yeah, I was a kid, growing up then, I watched all of them. As a little kid, you're going to love it, and especially, the Rocky IV, going to Moscow and beating the Russian and ending the Cold War.
Yeah.
Well, everybody's got to love that one, right?
Yeah.
The Russian crowd starts cheering for him.
Uh-huh.
Dave, anything else you wanted to add about the boxing? Or
what's that?
You got anything else you wanted to add to the boxing? I think I can't think of any other.
Well, I'm a little bit surprised that a lot of them die broke.
That seems to be a pattern with a lot of athletes. I think Holmes took. Well, he took care. He took good care of his money.
Holmes. Yeah. By the way, Joe Louis ended up living here in Las Vegas, and he had a pretty good job. He was a casino host down at Caesar's Palace, and I've been by his house that he had, which is also fairly close to Sonny Liston's house from back in the day. But Joe Louis is buried in Arlington Cemetery.
Oh, is he? I didn't know that.
Yeah. In fact, for a time, I had his son-in-law and daughter insured until they moved back to Detroit.
Oh, you had him insured?
Yeah, the daughter.
Oh.
Joe Louis' daughter and son-in-law for a short time.
Wow, that's so cool right there.
Yeah. Yeah, that's pretty cool. In fact, she's the one that gave me the address on the house they lived in when she was a little girl. So that's how I found that house. But probably one of the nicest people attached to boxing was Davy Pearl.
I remember that name, but I can't place. I can't place him.
He was pre-Mills Lane. Before Mills Lane.
Okay. All right. I know who you're talking about now.
Yeah.
Yes.
Matter of fact, when he would come to the mall, he would make sure he'd stop in and say hello to the boys in the shoe store. And then his wife would be shopping in the mall, the Boulevard Mall. His wife would be out shopping. He would just hang out with us at the shoe store. And that was in fact, he made me feel really special because he would call me by name, and he didn't really know the other guys, but when he had come in the store, he'd look for me. So that made me feel really good. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that does. I mean, have somebody that call you out by name, look for you.
He's gone now. He's gone. He's died.
I didn't know he died.
Yeah. And so
how long did you work at that store?
When I first started the insurance business, it's just like a barber. You don't have an income until you start cutting hair. You might do one or two haircuts a day. So I had to sell shoes until I built the agency up to a livable wage, and then I quit doing that.
Got you.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think I had to do it for 5 years.
Well, okay. But I bet you've seen all those guys. I mean, every day I would be awestruck.
Oh yeah.
Especially during that time.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. A lot of fun.
I mean, I don't know. So that was my favorite time. And what years was this that you worked there again?
Early 80s, I think, till up to 86, I think. And then I was still into boxing through mid-90s, and I started losing interest,
That's about the same time I did, too, was probably about the mid-90s. And I kept up with it up until that last, Tyson's last fight against Lewis. And then I kept up with the heavyweight, or middleweights, with a little bit through the Golden Boy and Pacquiao and Manny. And,
yeah.
I'm going to say Floyd. And then, just kind of, I can't even tell you who's in the big names draw now.
You like Sugar Ray Leonard?
Yeah, I like Sugar Ray. I mean, I like Sugar. you know, and middleweights then too. Again, you just I don't. I guess it was just the boxers. You know, Sugar Ray, Marvis Marvel, and just Hearns. Just go on and on.
Hegler's gone too now.
I'd heard that he had passed.
Yeah.
I'm surprised some of those guys live as long as what they do. You know, I don't. They said that whoever that was that, or the commission that when they licensed Ali that last fight, they knew then he was suffering from Parkinson's disease.
Yeah, that's so sad.
What they did was criminal.
That's so sad. I can't watch it.
And I forgot who the official was in that match, but they asked him later. I don't know. They stopped. And here, Ollie's trainer. Oh God, his name slipped my mind.
Dundee.
They asked both them.
Angelo Dundee.
Yeah, Dundee. Yes. They asked both them later why they did not stop the fight, and they said, they said that was Ali fight, and you've got to give him every chance. The benefit of the doubt that he's going to win, pull it out. So that's why they kept letting the fight go.
Yeah.
I mean, I get it, but he was. When I watched the pre-fight, getting ready for it, I was like, there's no way they should let that thing go on.
Yeah.
And he ended up fighting 2 more fights after that.
Yeah, I sure did. Burbick was one.
And I think both of them was in, the Virgin Islands or something like that, because he couldn't get licensed in the States.
Yeah. Yeah. I was in Louisville, and I found Ollie's grave.
Did you?
Yeah, and he's fairly close to Colonel Sanders.
No.
Yeah. But Ollie's got a beautiful headstone. Beautiful.
I've never looked at his headstone. I have to look that up.
It's called Cave Creek or Cave Hill Cemetery, something like that, in Louisville.
Oh, I'll look that up on Find a Grave later, which is the Erie morbid side. I don't hear you play around on that any, but
that's beautiful.
I'll have to. I'll definitely have to look that one up. I'll check. Maybe sure he could afford it though, or a state could.
Mm-hmm.
So when did you go up there to Louisville and look at that?
Just a couple years ago, I was driving through, and I remembered, so I went and checked it out.
How old was he? 71, 72?
He fairly young. Really sad.
I can't remember. I can't remember his exact age. But yeah, he had the effects of it. I remember, they wouldn't hardly put it on TV in the mid '80s. Just a few years after he retired, that he'd already went down.
Yeah. Suffering
from it so bad. But I mean, when you take those kind of licks like that, you got to think. The first time when you're watching a boxing match back then, when you see a boxer get hit and his knees kind of give and his eyes roll back, at that point he's got a concussion.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. And sometimes that happens in the first, second, third round. So from that point on, you're just taking just massive trauma to the brain for,
Yeah.
And once you get hit with one of those gloves, oh my God! I mean, your whole brain just rattles.
I know. Oh boy!
I mean, it's not like a hit with a film. It's just the whole. You just feel the your whole brain just rattles. It's like, oh my God.
Yeah.
But is he? Well, Dave, I can't think of anything else about the boxing show. I've had a good time. Is there anything else you want to add to it, or?
Well, yeah, I guess I was down in Texas. I was in Austin, Texas.
Mm-hmm.
And President Ford was there. Jerry Ford. Now, how do you know Jerry Ford? How do you know him, Chris? Other than the president, how do you know him?
He was a guard at Michigan. And he was also on a little commission they had.
There you go.
Investigating a president's murder and an officer's murder, I think, or something like that.
Yeah.
Well, that ass he was looking for, David.
Yeah, I think you know him. But anyway, I was at a buddy's house, and he said, "Hey, I went ahead and went on, and I paid per view. He paid for a boxing match. It turned out to be Tyson Holyfield when Tyson bit his ears." I couldn't believe my eyes. Yeah, I couldn't believe my eyes. I couldn't believe it.
My friend had bought that fight, and we was over there and watching it. And when he bit his ear off, I mean, but you know what set Tyson off? Don't you remember?
Headbutts.
Right, and then the first fight, they let him headbutt. I mean, he headbutted Tyson that whole fight and let him get away with it. And he started doing the same thing in the second fight. And Tyson went up there with that mouth guard and bit a piece of his ear off.
Now, did Mills Lane do the first fight?
I don't remember off the top of my head.
I know he did the second fight.
Yeah. He took a chunk.
Yeah, boy, I tell you.
Yeah, but I remember that was 90. I want to say that was 97.
Yeah, it was. It was 97. Yeah.
That was very Tyson.
Yeah. But other than that, I can't think of any other fights.
There was one I do remember before we cut off that I want to touch on. And even though he's my favorite, I'll admit it. But Foreman was fighting, what was it? Alex Iron Man Smith. I believe that was that little guy's name. Well, he just compared Foreman. And it went 12 rounds. And Foreman easily won the first two. I mean, knocked him down. I think he knocked him down. Easily won the first two. The next 10 rounds, he beat the eyes out of Foreman's head.
Oh, you sure you're not talking about Alex Rodriguez?
I may have the names wrong. Yeah, I mean, I could very well have got the names confused.
Yeah, he turned him in a pole.
Pummeled him,
yeah.
and Foreman won on decision.
Yeah.
And I was taken back. But he killed him. I mean, Foreman's eyes were swollen together. I mean, there was no way he lost or that Foreman won that fight. But
I got a fight that I don't know if you've seen, but I like to watch it over and over and over. And that's when they knocked the daylights out of each other, Foreman and Ron Lyle.
Oh yes, that was a
brutal.
That was a slugfest.
Brutal.
That was a slugfest right there. I mean, I didn't know who was going to get first.
Yeah. But if Richard Steele was in the ring, he would have stopped that fight probably on the first knockdown. Richard Steele would kind of pull the trigger too quickly, I think.
That's got to be a tough call in there on some of those guys because, when to do that and when not. I get what you're saying, though.
Well, I didn't still stop a fight when there was like 2 or 3 seconds left. It was Mildred Taylor and
Oh yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, that was ridiculous. Yeah, I mean, to me, once it gets up there, I mean, I didn't mean this way, but if you're in a 12-round fight and you're going into the 11th round,
Yeah.
that's between you and God. That's between you and God at that point. If you've made it this far, you're going you can finish it as far as I would. That may sound bad, but I mean.
Yeah, I know Richard still got a lot of heat over that.
Well, you remember that third, which I mean, I could have stopped. There's no way I'd have stopped if I was the doctor. That third Frazier Ali fight.
Thrilling in Manila.
Going into the last round. If it had been a few seconds later, Frazier would have won because Ali had told him to cut the gloves off.
Oh no, he was done. He was done.
Yeah.
He said he's close to death.
Yeah, Ali said. Yeah, I mean, so I guess Frazier won. I mean, I guess Ali will always go down as the winner, but he was done. He wasn't going back out there. So to me, Frazier won that fight.
Is that the fight where Ali cold-cocked Frazier in the second round and staggered him? The ref did something and interfered with something, and Frazier regained, his composure. Something happened early.
Oh, I do remember that.
Early clock, early bell, or referee, or something happened.
I do remember something about that, but I can't remember the exact details on it. But I know what you're talking about. I'll have to look that up, YouTube that. But it was early in the fight, and something happened. Early bell or
something.
I can't remember.
Referee interference. But then you got Marvis Frazier in the ring with Holmes, mismatch, and Holmes just beat just whipped him like he was a redheaded stepchild.
Didn't Tyson fight Marvis Frazier too?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure
I remember that. That was like a 12-second knockout or something like that.
Yeah. Be like me in the ring with Tyson. Can you imagine?
I mean, when he was 19 years old over there, it was like releasing a caged lion. I mean, he's just waiting to go, and just the fury he unleashed in these guys. Nobody could withstand that. I don't think there's anybody that could ever. When people always talk about Ali beating him, and maybe he would have, but I just don't know anybody with Tyson at his best could have withstood that type of fury for first 6 minutes of that fight.
Nobody did.
Yeah, I mean, so I don't know, and you can go back and bring the old guys and compare them against him. I just don't think there's no way anybody could survive that or could last that long. I mean,
well, I think he did better when he had Kevin Rooney, because Rooney had him moving his head.
Yeah, the
peekaboo.
What do you call it? Peekaboo? Yeah.
Yeah.
And you remember, Dundee came back and he was Foreman's trainer.
Yes. Yeah.
Because when they were going into the 10th or 11th round, when Foreman was fighting, when he won the title, he was fighting Michael Moore, and Dundee was over there, and he was putting Vaseline on him. He goes, "You're behind, baby. You got to take this guy down."
Yeah. He did that with Sugar Ray, too. You're blowing it, son. You're blowing it, son, with the Hearns fight.
I didn't ever hear him say that. I've never heard that one. That was because they had the mic on. You're behind, baby.
Yeah.
But I can't think how many fights that I remember like that with Foreman that, going into the 9th, 10th, 11th round, he's behind on the cards, and then just one lands right on the button, and it lights out.
I just thought of another trainer I really liked, Teddy Atlas.
Oh, God, yes. You gotta love Teddy Atlas.
Yeah, he knew exactly what to say in between rounds.
Yeah, you couldn't get better than him.
Yeah.
I'm trying to remember. Oh God, Tyson's. Who his trainer was at the end, because they was trying to bring back in that peekaboo.
Oh yeah.
But you're talking about.
Yeah, I don't remember his name.
But you're talking about a 38-year-old Mike Tyson as opposed to 20-year-old Mike Tyson.
Yeah.
There's a lot of difference there.
Yeah.
Yeah. You don't have that edge. And it kind of sneaks up on you too, because I don't care how they stay on top of their game. Time catches up to everybody.
Sure does.
Yep, it sure does. Well, all right, Dave. Man, this has been fun. We're gonna have to do this again sometime.
You bet. You bet.
All right.
It's been a lot of fun. It's good to talk about some old. It's good to talk about some old memories.
It is, man. You be jogged to several of mine. And tell everybody again, your channel, name of your channel, because
yes, sir.
Fun channel.
Yes, sir. It's called Dave the Insurance Guy, and I got videos of different varieties. And the way I choose to do a video is whatever I think about on the way home that would be interest to me, that would be fun to put together. That's how I do videos. But the only boxing related one I have is about Sonny Liston. Sonny Liston.
I love them. I mean, there's just, like you said, there's just the most random, things that somebody would never think about to look at. I mean, which makes your channel so unique that, when I'm flipping through them, I'm like, oh, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know, just blessed with a gift there, because I would have never thought that, or I would have never thought at first it would be interesting until you start watching it, and then you're like, huh. Mm-hmm. So wow. I mean, like that Red Fox video, I thought that was just so cool. People definitely got to watch that one. I mean, I was like, wow. I mean, you just the way you showed air conditioning unit here and this, that was. I like how you brought up today when the IRS came out there. They took the chains off his neck and the bracelets off his.
I know.
His wrist.
They took everything he had, and I remember it well.
You realize he owed them?
It's in my video.
I remember, because I remember you saying it, but I can't remember. I just can't remember what it was now, because
several $100,000.
Yeah, it was a lot of money. It was a chunk of change, because that's why they said that he came out and tried to make that last show with Della Reese, was because of that.
Yeah, he spent.
That show was actually going to be a hit.
Yeah, he spent all his money. Yeah.
That show was actually that was going to be a hit. That show was fixing to be one of the great sitcoms of the '90s if he hadn't died. Mm-hmm. Well, okay, Dave. It was good talking to you, man, and we'll do this again together real soon.
Looking forward to it. And thanks for letting me talk with you about boxing and talk about Las Vegas a little bit.
Hey, thanks for coming on, man. I enjoyed it.